All right, so we're here for another week of what is this called? Tesla Tidbits Weekly or something? Titillating Tesla Tidbits Weekly. It's maybe it might be slightly forced, the alliteration here, but so we are going to talk a little bit about actually Tesla factories today. We might talk about Tesla going private. I don't know. It's been the hot topic of the past week. And we're going to talk about electric vans that Tomek has been exploring for years, but exploring electric vans for a potential deal for 170, I think it was, in a fleet somewhere in Poland. But starting off, so yeah, last week I was shocked to get invited to join the Tesla conference call, the quarterly conference call. Right, not long before it, they sent me a link. They said, "Hey, can you join?" And I was like, "Join? Like join? Like not just listen?" So I wasn't sure what that meant, but I joined, and ended up after all of the
And was it just because you're a stakeholder, or just?
No, from the media. They wanted some. Historically, they've only been putting analysts on the call, right? Only Wall Street analysts representing institutional investors.
Now it's not a good idea.
Yeah, and well, they got a bit fed up with them. And not this one last week, but the one before that, a YouTube star who covers Tesla and retail investor and basically covers Tesla from an investment angle, tweeted to Elon, "Hey, can I be on the call?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." and they added him to the call, and that was the conference call where he got upset with the boneheaded analyst questions, and he just said, "Okay, let's go to YouTube." And he had spent like 10 minutes with this guy Galileo Russell on YouTube, who's tremendous. He's a great guy. So I think Elon really obviously enjoyed talking to someone who was asking questions, more interesting questions.
Yeah.
And questions about the future, not the same repetitive questions about financing that he gets asked over and over and over, and he keeps answering over and over and over. So I think they just decided, hey, we'd like to have more of that, I guess. So they invited some journalists on the call. So they did the big segment with the analysts, and then they had a segment for journalists. And first was someone from Wall Street Journal, and then I was on, and then this Galileo Russell from YouTube was on again. So that was the journalist section this time. We'll see what happens next time, if there is a next time. But anyway, so I got this invite, I joined, and I quickly asked some people, I think we were on chat or email maybe, Jacek, I don't know, but I asked a handful of people, "Hey, do you have questions for me? I might be on this Tesla conference call."
And I did ask you to ask Elon about my Model 3 coming to Europe, and you didn't. So.
And what else? You can talk about your other request that I sort of ignored. And to be fair, I had like 100 questions and comments and jokes in my head, and I tried to be really quick and concise, and and it was very hard to the last second deciding what I was going to ask and whatnot. So I did have the Gigafactory near the top of my list. But Jacek, what was your idea?
No, I just wanted to ask about the German factory first, right? So is it happening, and why not in Poland?
Yeah. And there was I think an analyst earlier on the call, or someone asked about Gigafactory stuff, and he basically said, "I can't talk about location. I can't talk about this stuff because then everyone goes crazy trying to speculate about the location." So that's why I didn't even consider.
Did it sound to you like an invitation for pitches?
For what?
For making a pitch.
Oh, no, I think that there just gets to be so much speculation, and then all of these people make public pitches, and I think it's good press for Tesla, but I think he was like, we shouldn't really go there. I shouldn't say anything about the Gigafactory because then things get crazy. And so I think they're probably close to a deal, I imagine, in part of this region of Germany. But you wrote an awesome article, Jacek, Wrocław, Shenzhen of Poland, or something like this. We called it. So
that was a good one.
I did want to make the point that Wrocław is the home now of this large LG Chem EV battery factory. You can explain more this Shenzhen of Poland story that we published.
You all know that I live in Wrocław almost, so it's my city. Plus, it's a Polish leader in a lot of EV related things. So it's just, and I like what China is doing in Shenzhen, and we've been covering it and reading about it for a long time. So it just somehow came naturally with all proportions that, I started calling Wrocław our Polish Shenzhen. And since Tesla
and we're clearly biased, but we were like, holy, if you really look at it objectively, Wrocław is doing a lot of shit. So you have to explain all of the wide range of things.
Yeah, it goes from the first fully electric car sharing program, right, which is in Wrocław, and it's special not only in Poland but in Europe. It's a city initiative, and it's together with a private company. So we have 200 Nissan Leafs, 180 Nissan Leafs plus 20 ENV 200s. So it's big. Then we have two separate scooter sharing programs, electric scooters, and we have this beautiful thing of electric boats going with solar panels on the roof, just sailing along the Odra River. So it's like all coming together.
And plus, we have electric trams, actually. We didn't mention we have electric trams.
We do have electric trams, and we have LG Chem building a huge battery factory.
I think it's the largest EV battery factory in Europe. At least when it's completed, it's supposed to be.
For LG, that's the biggest factory for batteries.
I think from all companies, I think it's the largest in Europe for now. Will be, and we have one of our Tesla shuttle employees who got a job there. Actually, stole him away.
Well, yeah, they took him away.
But
plus, of course, we are like one of the leaders in supplying the automotive industry with parts. So all the engines are built in Poland. So many things are built in Poland, from seats to engines. So, you come here and you have all the experienced people, right? And I think that would make a perfect match for.
Yeah, there was, a strong pitch. You have tech leadership. You have now this EV center in Wrocław with a lot of EV brain, what do they call it? Brain power, social capital. And you have, of course, lower labor rates than Germany, Western Germany. So there's that benefit.
I remember, I might be wrong, but where is Gigafactory in the States?
Yeah, it's in Nevada,
it's in the middle
of nowhere in Nevada.
Yes, right. And I remember reading about it. I might be wrong, but Elon said that he could go to a place which is like beautiful, sweet, full of tech and everything, right? But he went to a place where people actually benefit from it. They enjoy it. They appreciate having Tesla Gigafactory there. And it seems to me the same case with Germany. They would be like, oh, cool, right? They will take another success, right?
Yeah.
But moving to Eastern European countries, that would give so much to the area, to the region.
Yeah.
Also, I think if Opel and other German companies are moving to the Eastern Europe with the labor, because of labor costs and everything, it might be not a smart move to get to Germany now.
Can you say that again? What's happening with that? Because I think people
just Opel in Gliwice in Poland has a really large factory there, and also Fiat has, as Jacek said previously, it's a lot of very well experienced people who are building cars, internal combustion cars, but still in Poland. And it's
come on, if we can build combustion, we can build electric. It's simple.
So I'm just underlining that Germans are moving east, so it's not a maybe smart move to go to Germany, but just directly to Eastern Europe.
Two things that made me think was a big factors in them leaning toward that is they have that assembly factory in the Netherlands, and that's supposed to remain their headquarters in Europe. So having the two factories close by would obviously help for logistical purposes and costs. And I think that's I would guess that's the main factor. And they also have that Groman, that German company they bought, builds robots and stuff. So I think just having things nearby is probably a big part of the reason. But all, Tesla builds superchargers where there's demand. And so they, if they have a lot of Model 3 reservations, they've said that's where they put superchargers. And they've put a lot of superchargers in Poland in the past couple of years, and there's more planned. So I assume they have pretty strong demand for the Model 3 in Poland. And I do think there would be some strong pros to a Wrocław or Polish Gigafactory. But yeah, I think it sounds like they're probably too far along to change that plan, and they don't want to discuss it publicly that much more.
And one more final thing: does Elon know that you live in Wrocław, Zach?
What's that?
I'm just saying, does Elon know that you live in Wrocław, that your wife comes from Wrocław? That's a strong argument, He
knew a lot more about me than I realized. I mean, no, I don't. I was not expecting an invite, and when I got the invite, I thought, well, maybe this is from the PR people who we communicate with a lot. We communicate with their PR team a lot because of story after story. So it was quite a surprise to be when he started complimenting us and saying he liked our writing style and that we pay attention to details. And I was like, oh shit, this was not a mistake. And he probably personally asked that we be on the call, it sounds like. Mm-hmm. But so that was so I don't know how much they know, but yeah, I was very close to giving the nod, but I was rushing through everything, and I felt like an idiot afterwards, like I had rushed through everything too much and sounded like an idiot. Then I listened to it and said, oh, it sounded more or less normal, I guess, but it just didn't, I didn't deliver the jokes or the questions the way I had in my head, and I had too many more that I wanted to go through. So I just have to get a one-on-one interview with him. That's all.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I don't know. But that was the factory thing. We'll see what's new with that. Was there something else related to Tesla, or should we move on to the electric vans?
Let's go to the electric vans. Everything has been said about going private.
Yeah, this has been a crazy week.
It has.
Yeah. Oh, Tomek might be frozen, by the way. Right when but you see us. But I was one more thing on that electric car sharing in Wrocław. You said it's big even for Europe. That's big even globally. I mean, 200 electric vehicles in a car sharing program is there's not that many programs. It's
solely electric, right? So
solely
it's
electric,
like a mix, right?
And then when you consider hybrids. Yeah, and then you consider the size compared to the population, it really might be up there in the top. Top 5 or so electric car
about it.
programs. Yeah. And when I was living there before we moved over here, I mean, you see them everywhere. You see them every time you go out. You see these electric Nissan Leafs, or even the electric vans. I saw a couple of times.
We talked about it before, but I changed the link for the report that one of the software companies prepared, and now it's in English. So it's really a lot of excellent material for further analysis and everything. So it's like how many people book it, how they behave. Excellent job, and they did it all for free. It's great promotion for them, of course, but it's good effort. So
and it goes back to that supportive EV kind of heart of Poland that I think is quite strong now. But so Tomek, electric vans, electric vans. Jacek and I can only pretend to know.
Listen
about
to
them.
you. Yep.
So. Can you give first like a kind of broad overview of what's on the market, not just in the UK or France, but generally, what's on the market and what you're considering when you're looking at, potentially 170 electric vans for a friend who's running a company that might need them?
Yeah. So actually. We have some European companies like Renault Kangoo, who gives now they give a 33 kilowatt hour Kangoo, but it has no quick charging possibility there. So there's just one Type 2 plug there, so you can't really charge it quickly. Just 6.6. We have, for me, the winner is Nissan ENV 200. Maybe that's quick to say.
Kind of obvious, yes.
Yeah, but now with 40 kilowatt-hour battery, and possibly the company from Slovakia that we know,
Voltia.
They really do a great job by extending the car twice, so it has 8
cubic meters.
Cubic meters, sorry. So in comparison to 4,
they make it taller and longer as well.
Yeah. That's both sides. Yeah.
And they work with, I mean, it's not just they do it on the after, they work with Nissan, I understand, quite closely to, so it's not like they're just renegades, but.
For sure they have papers to do it, because they have orders all over Europe.
Obviously.
And
they are supplying them to London, right?
Different
pilot projects. There's a pilot project
for
London when they supplied quite a few of them.
Yeah, I think the city of, was it the city of London or but yes, somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, but now in bigger numbers they are sending to France in next month, so they are full up till end of year. They have they have over 100 cars to. I don't know if it's okay with saying, but I can say that company in France ordered it.
Too late, you've already said it.
But it's not. I haven't said what company.
But I read. But you might have given a hint. No, but you just back to Renault Kangoo ZE for a minute. Is that not the same underneath as the ENV 200? It's a different architecture underneath.
It's surprisingly not. I think they do take things from Zoe more than from Nissan ENV 200. That's totally different approach to the electric vehicle as a whole. So that's the battery is 33 kilowatts, so it's kind of similar to Leaf one. I mean, yeah. So, but still, it's. I think that's maybe Renault and Nissan are doing these things on purposely to check what the proper path is.
Yeah, explore the different technology options before settling on.
What's your guess, Tomek? I mean, it seems that what Kangoo is offering is like not the right thing.
I mean, it's good for post maybe, because it's over, I think, 6,000 Kangoos in France French post. But
well, one thing about the French too, they buy their cars. Like if you look at, we publish these France EV sales reports. It's France, Germany, Netherlands, and Germans buy German cars. The French really buy the Renaults, like in a lot.
Yeah, they're supporting their companies. But because Post have a really certain every day the same road to do. So if the postman goes like 50 kilometers, there's no problem for Kangoo to do it.
Right.
It has whole night to be charged, so it's also no problem to charge 6.6. So for this reason, for sure, ENV 200 is much better, having CHAdeMO and really quick charging. Also we have other things. Lately I get onto one Chinese company that has a branch in Netherlands, and I want to really
SAIC or SAIC, right?
Yeah, Maximus. Yeah.
Maximus.
Maximus.
Yeah. So
it looks neat.
Sorry.
It looks neat. It looks good.
Yeah, that's. I want to drive it and see how it goes, and what are possibilities and what is the price.
And so what is their? Also, they don't even have price list. What's their availability? Do they make those available across Europe? And same with Renault and Nissan. They are basically available for across Europe, or?
Yeah, Nissan and Renault, they are available. However, there are some, let's say, logistic problems. I mean that the cars are not waiting for new buyers, but you have to wait for the car like 3-4 months. And
Beautiful.
if you want to have more cars, like over 100, that's really takes months to be delivered. Just because it's said that it's all because batteries problems or
Obviously.
the supply of batteries, and it's going to be better in both companies. I heard the same next year.
However, because of the LG Chem battery factory in Wrocław, maybe, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
This is maybe what's making the difference, because that's just started getting rolling. It's not near full capacity, and that might be really what they're relying on. There's been a lot of talk that Nissan, I don't think anything is official yet. Maybe you've seen something, Tommy, that Nissan is probably shifting to LG Chem for batteries for the next generation, next model year Leaf.
I'm not sure about this. And
Renault has used LG Chem in the past, but okay. Well, I think there's a lot of expectation and rumor. I don't know if there's anything official that Nissan's going to shift to LG Chem batteries, and that would potentially be because of this factory that's going up in Wrocław, Poland, Shenzhen of Poland.
Exactly.
Shenzhen of Europe. Oh, maybe not Europe. Poland.
Yeah. No, make it all Europe. It sounds good too. Who can stop us?
That's right. We'll publish it all over CleanTechnica.
Exactly.
Actually, lately, talking about Shenzhen, I was thinking, maybe that's kind of stupid, but I was thinking about going to Shenzhen by electric vehicle from Poland.
Oh, that would be a story. Yeah.
I don't know if with Tesla
shuttle
or... Sorry?
Our jaws dropped.
Yeah, we're like, that's awesome. No, I mean, Shenzhen is sort of the mecca of EVs. And Kyle, one of our writers, went there last year to interview the head of BYD, the chairman, founder, CEO, and do some pieces on BYD. And he was blown away. He was like, man, all 100%, I mean, 16,000 something electric, like more electric buses than in all of the buses in the fleets of New York, Chicago, Toronto, LA combined. Yeah. And then now they're going to be 100% electric taxi by the January. It just and they've
crazy.
Got, yeah, so I would highly encourage it, and we would happily publish about that trip. That would be amazing.
But I'm considering now if to go with Tesla.
Just ask. Sorry, are you following Marek Kamiński, who's done all the trip, and he's now in Japan? He went all the way from Poland to Japan, across Asia. Have you followed his route?
Yeah, slightly. However, the idea was before he started, and when he started going, I was like, pity that he took this direction. But still, China, that's not Japan, but it will take really long. I estimate as around 25 days to get there. But
have you talked to your wife yet?
Yes, shortly.
Okay.
You have to put a small feeler out at the first. Come back a month later with a little more information.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We know how it works. We all have Polish wives, right?
So all you said was that you were planning a trip.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a trip to China, right? What was your line, Tomek? Give us the full details here.
I asked if she wants to fly there, and maybe we'll meet there.
So that's a good move.
Maybe meet there, yeah. Move. And she said, okay, meet there. I'm flying, so that means you're driving an EV, right? But you're obviously very accustomed to EV adventures. You love them and you do them a lot. It's a wonderful thing. So I'm sure she understands this is one of your passions.
Yeah, I'm considering if to go with Tesla as a Tesla shuttle, or to go with Nissan Leaf or some other. I don't know. Well, that's still months to come, so we'll think about it.
So it might be challenging to take the car out of the system for a month. Tesla shuttle.
Yeah, that's tricky.
Maybe Tesla will give us one. But
I was also thinking about how many sponsors we can get together, and if it's going to be covered by ourselves as a previous Balkan story, or it's going to be paid by somebody.
I think with some planning we could really try to get that sponsored. Yeah. So
I see BYD as one. and the city of Shenzhen.
Oh, yeah, right. With the electric vans, so you, which ones have you driven now?
Oh, it was, yes, it's a pity that you haven't asked before. Previously, I would be prepared for this, but quite a lot, for sure, these two. Also lately, I have a really long chat with Mercedes guys. However, I haven't driven the car.
What's that, the e-Vito or something?
Vito, yeah, e-Vito and e-Sprinter. It's gonna come shortly. And however, that's not the cars, even though they're gonna be available in Poland end of this year and maybe beginning of next one. But still, they are not cars that are compelling in comparison with Nissan ENV200, in my opinion.
That's
still lower range and.
But we have a question. How much is Nissan paying you for this webinar?
Nothing.
But it's very interesting. I mean, people are really interested in this information. Not many of us have driven these vehicles. I haven't driven any of the vans. So you've driven the Nissan ENV200, the Renault Kangoo ZE, and several others, but you'd have to make a list for the article. And well, the thing with Nissan, I mean, Nissan is shown as a leader for electric cars. When you go to the website, I love that it's the only big car maker. You go to the website and they highlight the electric cars. So the electric car is number 2 on the options of categories, and the first category is cars, and you still have the Nissan Leaf in there. So it's very.
Guys, apart from Nissan, have you seen a commercial of an electric vehicle from a major manufacturer?
I've seen on YouTube some BMW ones, I think.
No, I'm not asking YouTube. I'm asking, like, you know, on public TV.
I've heard of some in California,
come up.
but California is now like 7 to 10% electric vehicle sales.
Yeah, that's large. Have you seen any in Poland, Tomek?
I mean, Axiom, that's a Chinese manufacturer. They do cars that are going up to 80 kilometers per hour. That's kind of Twizy speed.
Have they advertised on TV or anywhere?
No.
I think I did see a BMW EV ad on TV in Poland. I think I did, but
I mean, it struck me recently at a conference when there were car manufacturers, and they all said there is no demand. It's so hard because there is no demand, or it's so small.
It's a very misleading bullshit point, I think.
It's like, you know, the simple question is, do you advertise?
Yeah.
It's like, guys.
They're I think last I've heard auto manufacturers are the biggest advertisers globally.
Well, that's my point, exactly.
And you don't see EV. And also, so the most popular electric vehicles have months-long waiting lists. It's not just Tesla. Any electric vehicle that's really compelling has a waiting list that's months-long in a lot of countries, even a year-long. The Jaguar I-Pace, Hyundai electric vehicles, Kia's new electric vehicles, they're all months-long waiting lists with no promotion like Tesla. So, I mean, more or less no
promotion. Hyundai is interesting.
Yeah, Hyundai and Kia are interesting because they've, I think, I don't know if they've purposely made such compelling electric vehicles.
I think we can share it, but being at a conference a month ago, Tomek, do you remember?
Yeah.
We met one of the managers from Hyundai in Poland, and he told us that Hyundai will be the first, globally, the first car manufacturer that will go fully electric.
Oh.
Like all fleet will be electric. And he was like, he was sober, nothing. I mean, he hadn't been drinking anything because.
But it was more of like a prediction.
No, he seemed so convinced, and he kept repeating it. You will see it. So you can take my business card and call me again in a couple of years, and you will say you were right.
Well, they're a mystery to me because they've created electric cars that people really want, highly efficient with great aerodynamics, so that even with smaller batteries and lower cost, they still have good range. And the demand has been insane for them. They're a kind of quality that people like. And my question has been, are they prepared to meet the demand? And if not, how long will it take them? And I think that's the big remaining questions. But if this guy's bullish, that's a great sign that maybe they really are working behind the scenes more than we know.
For sure, this guy asked by me that if it's possible to buy one of Kona cars.
Exactly.
He said, "Man, not this year."
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly. No, this car is going to be, the demand is going to be through the roof everywhere. In the US, it's going to be insane. And I'm afraid they have no,
changing, right? But,
I'm afraid they're not even close to having the production capacity that they should have for it. And that's my.
And if we're talking about advertising, that's normal that they do not advertise if the electric vehicles, if they can't really meet the demand. Yeah. So that's no point of advertising things that you can't really produce more.
Well, thank you guys.
I mean, but they mostly complain about having no demand and people not asking about EVs, right? So it's.
I think I hate that talking because it's so misleading. It drives me crazy. It's probably my least favorite because it's so disingenuous and so misleading. It's just not true. You know, there's demand through the roof, and to say otherwise is to lie to people, basically. But thank you guys. We had a good chat. I think the next week we'll talk about I'm sure some other Tesla topics and maybe more electric vehicles other than Tesla. But enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
And
thanks.
Drive electric.
Bye, Florida.
Yeah. Take care.